He thinks that the rapid healing has more to do with where the Sufis choose to wound themselves than with any spiritual power.
Many of the wounds that were created were put in places that are relatively silent. The man that put his sword through the chest looked to me that he was putting it through the skin and fat of his chest. We actually do something very similar in plastic surgery if we do liposuction of the chest.
But what about the wound created when Dr. Hall drove an ice pick through his cheek? There was very little blood, and the wound appeared to heal in minutes.
I'm not necessarily surprised with the amount of bleeding that I saw in that particular case. Anyone who's ever donated blood knows that you get some bleeding for a few minutes. If you hold pressure, it stops. Puncture wounds are relatively benign. It's not like he took anything out and then it filled in 2 hours. It was all there. It just had to close over a little bit and fall back into place. And that's what you expect with a puncture wound. I personally saw nothing that demonstrated anything that was clearly supernatural in the healing process.
But what about the GDV results that supposedly showed a decrease in energy in Dr. Howard Hall's aura? Does this really measure some mysterious energy in all living things? Is the aura the same thing as chi? And can some people really use chi to knock others out without even touching them?
We all love good food, but where do we find the ultimate guide to great eats? Get ready to indulge your taste buds as the National Geographic Channel serves up an all-new feast of fabulous food trends, succulent cooking secrets, exotic ingredients, and a concoction of world cultures from a gastronomic perspective.
At the end, it's all about taste.
The James Beard award-winning series Food Lover's Guide to the Planet, tonight at 8 on the National Geographic Channel.
For someone who has traveled in China as much as I have to say that Lijiang is one of the best preserved and cleanest cities I have ever seen. Lijiang is home to the Nashi, a very vibrant local minority. You know, I think the Nashi people are really lucky to be living in an area as beautiful as this. The Nashi religion is basically nature worship, and of course one of the elements that they worship is water. You could argue that they were the first green people, the first environmentalists. They believe that man and nature have to live in harmony. And so preserving the planet is about the most important thing we can do for our children.
This is fun. This is wild stuff.
It's Saturday!
Star World brings you a series that showcases the best of SNL.
That's great.
Featuring memorable characters.
I'm Barbara Wawa.
Impersonations.
Look at my butt!
And musical acts.
Sit back! Sit back! I think we're going to surprise some people.
The best of Saturday Night Live. A new season starts Saturday exclusively on Star World. Take a tour with us to the US of A, where success is measured by expanding wealth and rolling it over in style.
You're going down the highway and you can just sit back. It's effortless.
We take apart the American Dream on wheels to show you how it's put together. Super Factories on Mega Thursday at 9 on the National Geographic. Deadliest Animals, tonight at 9 on the National Geographic Channel.
Milan, home to Italy's stock market and business centers, and its fashion and shopping capital. It's also home to two of the world's most famous skeptics, chemist Luigi Garlascelli and psychologist Massimo Polidoro. Massimo writes prolifically on all kinds of supernatural phenomena. Luigi is the hands-on type. He'll subject himself to almost anything to make a skeptical point.
I think it is important for scientists to investigate strange claims because it is the job of science to discover what still is unknown, and it is what scientists do all the time.
I don't think it is possible for a person to transfer his or her energy to another person. If it really happens, then it should be investigated with the instrument of science.
Massimo and Luigi are quite familiar with the GDV device used to test Dr. Hall's aura while he pierced his cheek. In fact, they've built their own version. Like the GDV, it's based on Kirlian photography, but it exposes a few problems with GDV as a tool to measure life energy.
In this device, we have a high-frequency generator and a high-voltage generator.
Together, they produce a low-intensity electric charge that's safe to human touch. It's also equipped with tanks of helium and neon gas that are pumped to a sealed chamber under the surface plate of the machine. When an object is placed on the plate, the electrical charge excites the gas molecules, causing them to glow and creating what looks like the object's energy field or aura. But if this is supposed to be a life force, like an